Good morning, everyone. My name is Tony Edgerton. I'm going to be doing the second webinar we've done on the fiscal reporting element for the CCC Maker grant that you've been awarded. I have my name and an email contact on here, so don't hesitate to email me or give me a call if you have any questions regarding the processes and procedures of the fiscal reporting. So we are the fiscal agent. We will be collecting all the information from you. You, the college, have been awarded the implementation grant. You'll budget, spend, and report to Sierra College. Sierra College will then reimburse you, and I will be compiling all the information and the detailed data, and I'll reporting to the chancellor's office in the manner that you might just have a grant that you report directly to them, but I have to compile the information for all colleges as one report and send to them. So I'm requesting that the items I need for you to be uploading your information only to Dropbox, to give me all the required documentation, to be on time with your submissions, and to let me have one point of contact at your accounting or business office if I have a technical question about something that's come up. So that will make it easier for communications to get things clarified in a timely manner. So before we get started on the 17-18 year, I do want to review the Cie Grant, since all of the colleges that were awarded the implementation grant are still in the amendment period for the Cie Grant. So I'm still waiting on reporting for the Cie Grant. The first thing that I want to stress is that the Cie Grant accounting should be separate from the implementation grant. So you need to set up two separate funds for these awards and maintain separate accounting records for actually all awards. If you should have an award granted for the 18-19 year, that will be separate as well. But on the Cie Grant, since we're all getting ready to finalize that reporting is going to be due September 30th. There'll be no further extensions past September 30th. I will need the backup documentation for the entire $40,000 of expenses. When you send that to me, your report should have no encumbrances. They should only be actual expenses and no indirects. The indirects were not available on this grant. You're going to be uploading your files to me via the request that I sent on Dropbox. I sent this email back in May. It was sent to you on May 24th. So you're going to want to look for this email and upload your reports on or before this deadline. If for some reason you've been gone, you can't find this email, let me know right away and I will send a new request to you. But I want the information sent through the file request and not just an email, because I have many colleges to organize, so it goes to a special folder just for your college when you upload it in the file request. Along with this webinar, as I said, I have a full webinar we did back when we started the Cie Grant, and that's also available in Dropbox. It's very similar. It should have all the same information as this webinar as well. So returning the Cie Grant funds. Now, should you not submit to me by September 30th, then I will be sending an invoice to your college for the return of the funds. If you did not expend the full $20,000, I still need your information on what you did spend, and then I'll be invoicing you for the return of the unspent funds back to Sierra College. But I do need backup documentation for all expenses and return of any unspent funds. So now we're going to move on to the implementation phase. So you've all been awarded an implementation grant starting this year in the 17-18 fiscal year. The first item that we're going to all take care of is our contract between Sierra College and your college and an approved budget. So you'll be working with Deborah and Solomon, and they will finalize your budget, send me the approved budget. I will receive that and the signed contract, and that will initiate your first payment on your award. So again, separate accounting, please, on all phases of these grants. Cie Grant, 17-18 allocation, and 18-19 should all three have separate accounting funds within your college. So we will be implementing the initial payment of 10% upon receipt of the contract and the budget that's approved. Again, I know I'm being repetitive, but do not commingle the funds. Cie grants will be separate, and the 17-18 allocation will be separate, as well as the 18-19. The college will be submitting to me an invoice reimbursement form I've created. It's available in Dropbox, along with your narratives each quarter, and you're going to upload that to me via the file request. And we'll be going over the due dates in just a minute. Should you miss a due date, you'll be waiting for the next quarter's reimbursement period. At the end of the award, we will be reimbursing up to 10%, and then once all approved documents are finalized, the final 10% payment will be sent out. So those documents will include all your narratives and a match allocation, which we'll be going over later in the year of what's going to be required for that. Another thing to keep in mind, since with this award, you did have to turn in an approved budget. Should you need to make a change within that budget, we have put a 10% threshold on a major category. If you want to change the budget within 10%, it will need to go through a revision through Deborah and Solomon, and then they can get that information over to me. So for example, if you are budgeting $50,000 in operations and you want to move more than $5,000 out of that category, and now you want to hire somebody that you're going to be paying out of your payroll, that would need to be approved prior to you expending those funds if it's going to exceed 10% out of a major category. So it's going to be a little different than the Cie grant. We didn't have that restriction or required budget on that. So keep that in mind as I will be going back to approved budgets and expenditures when I have those reimbursement requests. And also we've gone ahead and made a decision regarding carryover so that you know and are prepared for the year. We will be allowing up to 10% of the award as carryover with prior approval through Carol Pepper Kittredge. And if you are approved to have carryover, that carryover must be spent within the first quarter of the next fiscal year. So we want to expend the funds. As I said, we have a short 2-year time period to get this project fully executed and expended, but we do know things come up, but you will need prior approval, and you'll have to have a plan in place to spend that within the first quarter of the next fiscal year. And if you have unspent funds at the end of the year, you will be expected to return those to Sierra College to be put back into the grant for future payments or use within that grant. Again, final payment will be processed when I have your full grant award expense report and all required narratives approved by Deborah and Solomon and your match information. When you submit the reports, remember no indirect costs for the college's allocations are available, so please don't include those on the reimbursement invoice requests. So there we go, initial funding. That will be sent right out as we did with the Cie grant once I have your approved budget and your signed contract. We are going to be doing all communications via Dropbox. All the documents that you will need will be into Dropbox, and that's where all the file requests will point to returning back to me. The folder you're going to look for these documents, it's named the 1718 CCC Maker Fiscal Reporting Information Implementation. That's the title of the folder. You will all receive a link to be able to view any document in that folder. And if you want to add someone to be able to have access to that folder, I just need their email address sent to me, and I can add anyone to that folder as its information of how to report for you to share with anyone at your college. I will be uploading the file request email to you, and you'll be receiving an email with a designated link to upload your documents back to me. So if you could please use that link, that's how we will be organizing all of our colleges and their important documents. So this is going to be submitted for reimbursement, the reimbursement invoice. It's an Excel document. You open the template, you save it as your own template, and you're going to complete it. There is an example, a detailed example of how to do that in Dropbox, and it's going to be the same as the Cie Grant. You'll be supplying me with a financial activity report in your college's form, whichever financial reporting software you should use. This report should be generated from the software and not it should not be like a document that you created yourself. It should be the actual report showing the transaction history, including any payroll or whatever has been expended from the fund. I'd like that in a PDF form when you upload it back to me. Other supporting documentation will be copies of paid invoices, reimbursement requests, and those will require your itemized receipts, like if you have travel, things like that. Anything that you would be required to submit to your business office, I also need as backup for support to reimburse you back to your college. And once you submit that and it's approved, we will be issuing payment. Here's the timeline and schedule. So as you can see, we're already coming up on the first quarter. The first quarter will be through September, the end of September, September 30th is going to be the first quarter. I will send you a file request September 29th, and you'll have until October 13th to submit those documents back to me. If you miss the first quarter's deadline, the next chance for reimbursement is going to be in January. And when I reimburse back to you, it's going to be for your actual expenses. I'm not able to reimburse if you have an encumbrance on your report. It'll only be for your actual expenses. So if anyone has a question about that, please let me know. And it's going to be less what we've already sent you an initial payment. So say we send you an initial payment of $35,000, and in your first quarter you've spent $40,000 and you've documented that. My payment to you then at that time is going to be $5,000. So we are only going to be reimbursing on actual expenses. Again, if you have questions or concerns about that, please let us know. So you do need to create a Dropbox folder. It's free and it's very easy. This information you've probably already done as you submitted your implementation application. Just a little bit of information on these next few slides about Dropbox. I have a folder with information for you. It has how you set up your accounts, who you can share your folders with if you want to share something with us. But the most important thing is that you're going to upload to my file request that points your documents to a special folder I've set up for you. So you can't send me an email outside of Dropbox. I'll ask you to go back and upload the file to Dropbox. If you are having trouble with that, let's work it out as soon as possible so that it's smooth sailing for the remainder of the allocation. because that's how I need to keep everything organized with all the separate colleges. So you're going to get an email from me. It should look similar to a Dropbox icon and my name, and it's going to tell you you have been invited to review a document, and the file request folder will have exactly on there what you need. Here's some examples of the files I already have into the fiscal reporting for 17-18 folder. I have examples. I have the Excel template. I have the reporting deadlines, the Appendix C guidelines for expenditures, my contact information. You should already be able to go in there and view any of these documents. And if you can't, let me know right away. If you've updated your email or you didn't get this folder, I just need a valid email address and I can set this folder up viewable for anyone to see. So a couple little nuances to know about the documents and when you open them in Dropbox. The invoice template I've created is an Excel document, and you do need to open that in Excel version 2016 or higher. The first choice that you're going to see is to open in Excel online, but I'm finding that's not working. So you want to open it in Excel 2016, save to your computer. You need to edit it and name it your college, and then you'll be able to upload it back to me, and always name your file with your college. That's how I'm going to keep everybody's information. I'll know what college it goes to, especially the colleges that have one district with multiple colleges participating in the implementation grant. This is just a little video I found on YouTube of how to upload. If you watch this, you want to click on this, go into this video available about 3 minutes in. It shows you exactly how to upload the file requests. Reimbursement. So again, I do want to get those reimbursements to you in a timely manner, and it's just going to all depend on when you get me your documentation. So I really don't want to have to wait for the next quarter. But in order for me to stay on track and organized, if you don't meet the deadline, your payment will be delayed till the next quarter. This is a link to the Appendix C. This is available on the Chancellor's Office. It's available by clicking within this PowerPoint. And it's also available in the Dropbox. This goes over the allowable expenditures of the grant. I would become familiar with this. For example, out-of-state travel must be pre-approved by the Chancellor's Office, not just Sierra College. So if you plan to do any of that, you need to get that request in right away. Those are the things that if you go ahead and spend those without pre-approval, they will not be able to be reimbursed. So I'd become familiar with this document. And that concludes my webinar. I will be at the kickoff event in August to go over this a little bit more. We have a lot of work to do this next couple of months with wrapping up the Cie Grant and all that reporting, and then getting going on your initial payment for the implementation grant. So I look forward to working with you, and I am here for you. Please send me an email, give me a call if you should have any questions. So thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon.